What's going on, Blues? Welcome back to Life as an Evertonian. Blues, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Click that bell to turn on post notifications so you'll be notified every time we upload a video. This is our final summary of the big win, although it was only 2-0. Still was a big win yesterday against Fulham at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, and it could have been more. Um, Obviously, we had some offside decisions that went against us. Three of them, finishing the game 2-0 in full control from start to finish. You know, and obviously Fulham had spells and they got popped a few shots away in those spells, but this was Everton's most dominant performance this season, and we've been asking for it. I've been asking for it in my pre-match content. I wanted to see a strong performance. I wanted to see a win. I wanted to see a clean sheet. I even said I'd like to see a goal from a set piece, and we got one of those as well from Michael Keane, who again had a really strong performance. The team as a whole, from Pickford with the saves that he had to make, Jimmy Gardner making a huge difference at right back, and I mean huge. Everton, the way Everton was set up yesterday by Jimmy Gardner playing at right back, a full-blown baller, someone who understands the game. And this is not me saying Jake O'Brien doesn't understand the game, but it's so imperative and important to have good footballers, good fullbacks. You know, you think back to a peak Seamus Coleman and a peak Leighton Baines, you know, how good Everton were. And we've been crying out for it. We've been asking as fans, when are we going to see Jimmy at right back? He's been integrating him in games for like 5 minutes here and there. But we asked, David Moyes answered by putting him at right back, and it made just a huge difference. And the way Everton played the game yesterday, I thought Jimmy was absolutely superb. I thought Idrissa Gana Gueye were absolutely superb, and I thought Kieran Dewsbury-Hall was another who were really good. I think Fulham yesterday was very wary and very nervous of the wide areas with Njai. And obviously, Jack Grealish, there was a lot of doubling up going on. And I feel like Fulham lost the way in the centre of the park, and Everton really grabbed hold of it. I thought Timmy Raburn were good. He opened up his legs, drove with the ball in periods. I thought Kieran Dewsbury-Hall weren't just adopting as a 10. He was all over the pitch, off the ball and on the ball. And that were really good to see, because have we been a bit critical of Kieran Dewsbury-Hall? I think I have. I think I had, especially in his last game. But you know, yesterday, should I say, he was absolutely outstanding. Definitely one of the best players on the pitch. And Tarkowski was solid. He had a good chance that hit the bar. Again, a goal from Michael Keane. Mikalenko was strong, did well. Do you know what? I like Mikalenko, and I think Mikalenko is more expressive when Jared Branthwaite is playing. He's not as cautious in his defensive shape. He does push on a little bit more, and obviously with the likes of Jack Grealish ahead of him. But we ain't seen that yet this season, because obviously Jared's not been available. But I'm telling you what, it'd be very harsh for Michael Keane to lose his place. So it's all food for thought for David Moyes. End of the day, you want a blistering squad. You want a bolstered squad available. I have asked for Jake O'Brien to slot in at centre half. You know, I think Tarky's even a little bit ropey, but yesterday we're very good. It's a squad game at the end of the day. Jack Grealish, for me, one of his quietest games, but did what he had to do. So lovely on the ball. We're getting fouled quite a lot in the first half. There was one point where can't remember who it were, like literally pulling Jack's arm off, trying to keep with him, and they couldn't handle him on the ball, especially Njai as well in the first half. You know, we controlled the game from start to finish. I thought the substitutions were clever, they were good. I probably would have liked to have seen more. We made 3 substitutions with Merlin Rowe, Jake O'Brien coming on. Obviously, Beto came on for Barry. And with that, I think Barry's performance yesterday was definitely his strongest in an Everton shirt. And obviously, he's had the most amount of minutes that he's had as well. And obviously, he's been very grateful for the round of applause that we did for him when he came off. He didn't want to come off, but he took in that round of applause from the Hill Dickinson. We were all on our feet celebrating the lad. He worked hard, worked tirelessly, held the ball up, linked up play, did some lovely layoffs, brought midfielders into play. Everton improved with Barry up front. And yesterday was evident to see. I mean, it's all about levels. Fulham, you could tell they were a level below us. I think there's been games where when we've played West Ham and the likes of Aston Villa, at that stage of them games, they were there for the taking, but Everton couldn't do enough. Yesterday they did. So there is vast improvements. Again, Idrissa Gana Gueye, he absolutely ran his socks off all over the pitch yesterday. That is what we are used to seeing with Idrissa. He's not had a great start to the season, but yesterday we saw him playing it in full floor, at full throttle, doing what he does best, winning the ball, harassing the ball, tracking the ball down, pressing. And there were a lot of interchanging with Iraburum, with Idrissa, with Kieran Dewsbury Hall. The balance looked good in midfield and the balance looked well with Jimmy Garner playing at right back. I think they were the key changes yesterday, and we've been asking for those changes. We really have. So to see two of them integrated with Barry and Jimmy Garner, it's the step in the right direction. And for me, fundamentally, Jimmy has to be Everton's right back moving forward at this stage where we're at. And obviously, Seamus to come in as and when needed. And we know Jake O'Brien can do a job there as well. And there can be interchange if Jimmy needs to go into midfield. But for me, he has to start there. He has to start there at right back. Who else am I missing? Alcaraz, I would have liked to see Alcaraz come on. He didn't do. Again, just the 3 substitutions. And maybe we're going to start seeing David Moyes now integrating more substitutions in game management. You know, to see Barry get lock in those 70 minutes are important for him. And it's important for Everton as a team and us watching, because I felt sorry for that lad coming off against Sunderland. I know he made a big miss, but his head had gone down. And, you know, I love what he's done on his Instagram, putting that profile picture of him sulking, sullen on the bench. And it's obviously he's taking the mick out of himself by saying it's no disrespect to anyone. It's me having a laugh at my misfortunate place where I'm at currently in my career. But yesterday was a massive performance from him and for our team and David Moyes. As a whole, well-deserved 3 points. Njai, so good in that first half. You know, low sense of gravity. I love Njai. He's honestly, sometimes, don't shoot me for this. Sometimes I go, is he too good for Everton? And that's how good he is. He's so good. And I think he's going to keep improving. And we need to now find a way of locking down this lad. We need to get into new contract talks with him. I think he's got like 3 years remaining. I don't know the wage that he's on. I'm led to believe it's like 40 to 50 grand. We need to say, look, you're our key man. We love you, Njai. We don't want you to go anywhere. You extend that contract to 5 years and you start paying him 100 grand a week, 120 grand a week. You've got to honour him. You've got to reward him now or before the end of the season, because there's going to be people interested in this lad. And we have to try and find a way of, you know, rewarding him, making him feel wanted. I think that is important as a player. And for the best interest of Everton, for in the future getting the best amount of money if a move happened. Like, he is. And I don't want to come on here and talk like Njai's going to be leaving Everton, because I just think he's Barcelona ilk. You know, I look at Rafinha, I look at Rashford, and he's better than those two. He is. But we need him at our club for long term, for the future of Everton Football Club. we have to cement him down. We have to lock him down and honour him and reward him with a big contract now. So don't see that as a negative, Blues. I'm just being honest. That's how good he is. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying like Barca what Barca used to be, but he's at that level. He can play Champions League week in week out. There will be clubs, big teams, who will come knocking. They're gonna come knocking at some point. But he's our player now. I'm proud that he's blue. You know, he's like Ronaldinho. He's like that type of player. Luis Figo, he's that inventive, got so much courage. He's so good. I would like him to, you know, get more assists. I think his final ball could improve a little bit. You know, he knows where the back of the net is. But at the end of the day, I think he's going to improve once we get in that area of assist. Once Barry starts mucking in with the goals, and that lad's got to give himself a target now. You know, it'll do him a hell of a world of good for the confidence that he'll have built up from yesterday. Even scoring, which were disallowed, to feel that goal going in, it's going to do him a world of difference from where he's been at. And he has to give himself a goal to try and, you know, aim for 10 goals this season. So lots of markers that have we've reached yesterday. You know what I'm seeing in terms of style of play, in terms of off the ball, defending him. You know, defending really well. I thought we defended really well yesterday. Good in both boxes. Set pieces looked like they'd improved. Balls into the box were good. We were taking shots. You know, Jimmy Garner's hit one, and there were a couple of chances where Keenan Dewsbury-Hall should have hit one, and Michael King, they didn't do it at that stage. But there were lots of different ways that Everton were trying to play yesterday, and it weren't just, oh, let's get it out to Jack, or let's get it out to Njai. A lot were going through the middle, and that is where the game, a lot of the times, that is where the game is won and lost, in the centre of the park, and Everton bossed it yesterday. So that is our final summary, Blues. You know, Beto came on and opened them up a bit, stretched them a little bit. You know, when you play the ball up to Beto, I've said it time and time again, and we all know, we all see it. He's not technically good, or holding the ball up. Sometimes he does well, and then it just comes off and springs off him. He's much better once it's played into the channel or played in front of him, and he can drive onto the ball. So for me now, it's going to be about Barry getting those 65 to 75 minutes in, and Beto to come on in the last 15 minutes. And Moyes, I'm sure, has identified that now. And that confidence can only build from Barry. And, you know, knowing that Beto's going to get those 15 to 20 minutes. Listen, every game's different. All games change. But a lot of positives to take from yesterday. I like to try and find positive even in the games where we've lost or drawn. And there were a lot to take from yesterday. So, Blues, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Click that bell to turn on post notifications. Up the toffees. And I'll see you in the next one.